Hello, welcome back to Crackpot Sports. Another wild weekend in the NFL. 4 teams moving on, 4 teams going home. What were your thoughts? I'll be honest with you. I only saw part of the Eagles Giants game. By the time I turned it on, it was like 28-0. So I figured they're not the Chargers. This game's over.
Yeah, I was at the Florida Panthers game, so then when the game finished, we went to get some food and stuff, and I saw the game was in the background, and like you said, it was like 28-7 or 28-0.
Yeah, it was 28-0 at one point. And I said, well, the Giants aren't a high-scoring team. I mean, they went as far as they could, but anyway, I figured we'd start with.
I thought before the game they might have had a chance because I thought
yeah.
You don't know how healthy Hurts is.
Yeah, I thought it might be close, but it just wasn't. Philadelphia was back to playing their style of football, and it paid off. Well, the first game we had was Kansas City versus the Jags, and I got to be honest, the first half I had my grandkids. We were at Chick-fil-A. I had a lot. I still don't get the love for Chick-fil-A. I know people out there listening going, you're insane. It's the best. I don't get it. My chicken sandwich was cold. So I'm watching the game on Gamecast, and I go, why is Chad Henne in the game? I go, what the? So I had to go on Twitter, and I go, oh, Mahomes got hurt. So then I saw the play. I'm like, oh Christ, he's out till next year, because it looked like his knee, his ankle.
Pretty dirty play by that.
Yeah,
defensive lineman.
People are saying it wasn't dirty. I said, nah. He
basically touched him, and then he's like, looked down. He's like, all right, I'm gonna go straight down on the leg.
Yeah, and he did. It was old school football, but today that's dirty. But now but Chad Henne drove him down for a touchdown, 92 yards, right? 98 yards, and longest then
drive of the year for the Chiefs, I think.
Yep, but then Mahomes came back in the game. And he was basically playing on one. He has a high ankle sprain, so I don't know if he can play that because sprains get worse before they get better, if that makes sense. Because I've had several of them, and the high ankle sprains are the worst. It's like having a broken leg because you can't do anything. So we'll see what happens. But Lawrence, I thought, played all right. The backbreaker was Jamal Agnew fumbling that ball on like the 4-yard line.
Right.
When it was, I think it was 20-10 at that point. And I said, oh my God, that hurts. That is a backbreaker. That's just, it hurts. I mean, I don't think obviously they never recovered from it, but I thought Lawrence played pretty well, 217 yards, 1 TD, 1 interception. Mahomes, 195 yards, 2 TDs, and then, like I said, Chad Henne, 23 yards, 1 TD. I don't know. I thought the Jags, of course, they got a last second, got that field goal towards the end that screwed up the point spread. God, geez, I was like, no. I was like, that was the one game I could remember for sure that I picked this with the spread, but I screwed on that one. But yeah, Chiefs.
Otherwise, you would have had a perfect weekend.
Yeah, it's my story in Vegas. It's reminds me back. My mom's husband and I were in Vegas. Well, a bunch of us were in Vegas, and we had this 18 parlay, and it was going pretty good, and all this different stuff. And Bubby Brister, I can't remember if he was playing for the Jets or the Pittsburgh. I can't remember who he was playing.
Not the Eagles.
Maybe it was the Eagles. Maybe it was the Eagles. I don't know. I just remember Bubby Brister, and we go, all right, they're just going to sit. They're just going to drop a knee on this ball. I'm going to go up and let's go up and get a sandwich. They got sandwich. All of a sudden I hear, what? The team's running. Maybe it was against Pittsburgh. I don't know. Either way, he fumbled the ball, and they ran back the other way. The other team ran back the other way for a touchdown. Screwed it. We were 7 for 7 on the other ones. If he doesn't fumble the ball, we win. And we would have won quite a bit of money. So, Bubby Brister, I don't like you. I'm bitter.
Also,
yeah. Go
On a
ahead.
side note, I do agree with you on Chick-fil-A. I do think they're pretty overrated. I don't understand the lines everywhere for that, but
Because the one by our house, I swear to God, it's in a mall. It's in a little strip mall.
mm.
It's backed up. I mean, it's blocking traffic. It's keeping. I mean, I don't get it. I don't get it
And now they've
at
made it like
all.
most of them down here, like they made 2 lanes for the drive-through.
Yeah, yeah. We have 2 lanes, and it's still backed up because it's. Again, I don't get it. I just.
But I did have their spicy chicken sandwich like 2 months ago for the first time. And after that, I was craving it pretty bad. So maybe they
They
put
do have.
something in there.
They do have great shakes, and they have
Mm,
this great lemonade, frozen lemonade drink that's amazing. Those are great. I don't get the chicken part. I just don't. But hey, and I like chicken.
right.
But anyway, next we have the Eagle. I will say this about the Jags: they have another good offseason. They can make a run. They can make a run at the Super Bowl. They
Oh, now
got a
they
lot of
got
young
the
players.
receiver from Atlanta. He'll be off his suspension.
Oh, I forgot about that. Forgot they got him, Mr. Gambler. I forgot they had him.
So that'd be a nice
Yeah,
addition on the other side of
yeah,
yeah.
it's going to help Lawrence. Again, they need probably another some more defensive players, and you can always have another good draft that they could make a run at the Super Bowl next year.
But yeah, during the game, like between Jags and Kansas City, Mahomes, after injury, he was trying to struggle to play through it, and he couldn't
Yeah.
even hand off the ball. Like he was trying to go back. Like he was just like hopping on one leg. And
Yeah,
then they tried to put him in tent. He was frustrated about that. They wanted to put him like in the locker room to like check on his ankle. He didn't want to go back to that.
I give him credit for gutting it out and playing, but I mean, he won the game, and he had that touchdown to make it 27-17. But that was on one foot. I mean, it was on one leg. He can't put any pressure on that. I don't know if I mean, once it's sprained, I don't think he can do any more harm to it. It's just a matter of your pain level. And he's only got a week to recover. I don't know. I don't know if he's going to be able to play or not.
Yeah, it does suck. Like you're like looking forward to like this big shootout between Cincinnati and Kansas City, and now you have a hobbled Mahomes. You don't know if he'll be able to run or drop back.
Yeah, he won't be. There's no way he's going to be able to run. No way. But again, we'll talk about that when we get to the game. Next up, we have the Eagles versus the Giants. Blowout 38-7. Daniel Jones, not a good day. 135 yards passing, 0 TDs, 1 interception. Jalen Hurts, 54 yards passing, 2 TDs, and he had 1 rushing TDs, no interceptions. Just a dominant performance for the Eagles. Again, like you said, it's a division rivalry game. You think the Giants would have put up more of a fight.
But the Giants offense is built around a lot of Daniel Jones running the ball, because I think he had like 700, 800 rushing yards this year.
Yeah.
And if you're down by that much early, you need to pass the ball. You can't run the ball like they did the first playoff game.
Yeah, and then they asked him afterwards, "Are you going to be back?" He goes, "We'll see. It's a business decision." So
I think he'll definitely be back.
They're gonna have to. I think they're gonna have to pay him more to stay in New York than he'll have to. Than say another team. Say the Raiders would go after him. I think it would cost the Giants more to keep him than it would for someone else to sign him. What do you think? Just because they didn't pick up his fifth year option.
Yeah, I think it would have been $25 million, but now it's up to like $35 million or something like that.
Yeah.
I think it's worth it.
It's a lot of money though for Daniel Jones.
But then you have a whole bunch of quarterbacks that.
Yeah, I get it. We talk about it every week. It's just like there's so many teams that need quarterbacks. It's crazy. I mean, with quarterbacks being drafted in the top, except for this last draft, but the year before you had 4 or 5 players drafted in the first 15, 4 or 5 quarterbacks drafted with the first 15 picks, and none of them have really panned out to be anything amazing. But
And now you
We
have the
shall
Giants.
see.
Giants would pick in the 20s because they made the playoffs. So it's like,
Yeah.
do you want a quarterback in the 20s? Do you want to wash or old Derek Carr, Tom Brady?
Well, they were talking about Burrow today on the radio, and they said, do you take a lesser contract to put more, like Tom Brady always did? He always took less money. But the difference with Tom Brady was he got lots of commercial endorsements. He married someone rich.
Supermodel.
Supermodel. I mean, he had a lot of money. I mean, again, but it's like, all right, do you want to win? Or do you want to put your team in fight? Because you get that, we'll get to it when we get to it, but there's a quarterback. They can't even cut him because his cap hit would be like $89 million.
I'm guessing you're talking about Rodgers?
Prescott.
Oh,
no, I'm talking about Dak Prescott. That's what they were saying today. But if I'm a player, it's the guaranteed money I'd want. But again, all the owners are pissed at Cleveland for guaranteeing $250 million to Watson.
Deshaun Watson, yeah.
Deshaun Watson. It's like you screwed it. I mean, it definitely screwed up Baltimore with Lamar Jackson. I don't blame him. Like, wait, he's getting guaranteed $250 million. You want to guarantee me $133 million?
Mm-hmm.
I'm better than he is. So it's crazy. The game I really enjoyed. Well, I thought it'd be a closer game. Cincinnati 27, Bills 10. Joe Burrow, the guy just nothing. He just doesn't get phased. He's not overly emotional when he's playing. He's just kind of 242 yards, 2 TDs. They won this game because of the running game, though. Mixon 105 yards rushing. Yeah,
the offensive line was dominating.
Yeah, they were just crushing the defensive line of Buffalo. And Josh Allen 265 yards, no TDs, 1 INT. Diggs was upset with him. You see that he was like this going. He's like yelling at him as Allen's sitting on the bench. 4 catches, 35 yards. But, Allen didn't have a lot of time. Not to make excuses for it, but it seemed like he was moving around a lot.
Cincinnati played a really good defense against them.
Yeah, they played great defense. Their receivers are just awesome. They just have great receivers. And again, the running game, problem with Buffalo, they have no running game. None. So you don't have to worry about their running game. You just other than Allen running. And I think the game plan was just put all the pressure on Allen, make him, force him to beat us.
But even like the last month or month and a half, Allen hasn't run. So it's like he's a whole running game. If you're not going to run with him, you're pretty one-dimensional. And he's just like tossing like bombs like up in the air for anybody.
Yeah, and they have to be smart and get a running game. They have to go out. They have to find themselves a back that can carry you. So when he's struggling, or it'll also take some pressure off him. Especially in the playoffs, you have to be able to run the ball.
But even so, it's more like their coaching style because they had like James Cook had like the second best yards per carry in the NFL this year.
Yeah, that's true.
So you got a guy averaging 5.7 yards per carry, and you're not giving him the ball. You're just leaving it all up to Allen. You're right. I mean, to me too, when you're running the ball and you have a big back, a guy that's physical, because you see it with Mixon. They were wearing down the Buffalo's front. It takes a lot when you're trying to tackle someone over and over again. By the end of the game, you're gassed. And when you're not running the ball like Buffalo's not, these guys are fresh. And what are they going to do? They can put pressure on the quarterback. So, but it's almost like they've built Buffalo to be like a great regular season team. They're not built for cold weather, like running the ball, like
right.
So it's like
that's what made it when they went to 4 straight.
Their plan.
Yeah, when they went to 4 straight Super Bowls, they had Thurman Thomas. They could run the ball, and so when teams came into the Buffalo Stadium, it was cold, and they're running the ball. They played great defense.
Yeah, you got Thurman Thomas to run the ball, and if you don't want to run the ball with him. You got Andre Reed to pass the ball. Like you're more
Yeah.
balanced.
Yeah, you definitely more balanced. Again, you had a solid team. Whereas, again, the beginning of the year, they looked like they were world beat. Lost a lot of guys on defense. Losing Von Miller was a huge, hurt them a lot. But we'll see. They'll be back next year. People are going, Josh Allen's overrated. They're calling him the Phillip Rivers of quarterbacks.
Well, I also
But
wonder how bad is like elbow injury is like now. Like
yeah,
since like about like the half season or like week 8, week 9, he hasn't looked the same.
No, it's definitely it's because it was something that wasn't going to. I think it required some minor surgery. Or it was hard to tell because they don't want to tell you exactly what's wrong with it. But he, again, like you said, he wasn't the same. Buffalo was like my first 6-7 games, people were like, okay, they're going to win the Super Bowl. They're dominating. They're just, and then after that, they weren't as dominating. They won games, but they weren't blowing people out. And
I just remember Dolphin games. I'd be like so scared of Allen running the ball because he's going to get like 5, 10, 15 yards at a time whenever he runs the ball. And then just watching like last week for Dolphins, you're like, wait, you're not going to run there? Like you got an easy first down. Like it seemed like he was scared of getting hit or something.
Yeah. To be honest with you, I don't mind Allen running the ball. I've said this before, but he's got to stop taking hits. And that could be the problem too. When you run the ball like that, again, the season is now 17 games, playoffs. I don't think he probably played a lot in the preseason, but that's a lot of football practice every, since August. You can't run the ball like he does and be fresh at the end of the year. You can avoid the hits, and just go out of bounds or slide, protect yourself. But that could have been a factor too, that he just gets so beat up. Like a running back, he doesn't, when you're running into these 300-pound guys, eventually it's going to take its toll, but they'll be back next year. Whether they'll win it or not depends. They need they're like the Jags. They need a really good offseason. Finally, we had the 49ers 19, Cowboys 12, Dak Prescott. 206 yards, 1 TD, 2 interceptions. He could have had at least 3 more.
There was a tweet from, I think, the official Dallas Cowboys today. It was like, he saw, like, we had a close game, except for some mistakes by our quarterback or whatever.
Yeah, I said
untimely turnovers.
I said, well, this has to be a parody account. I go, oh my God, this is the real account. That's brutal. That's brutal. I mean, that's just, they don't pull any punches there. Brock Purdy, 214 yards, no TDs, no interceptions, but I thought he played well enough. And the 49er defense, again, the Cowboys lost this game because Dak couldn't produce. He was high and wide and off target on a lot of his throws.
I don't think it also didn't help that Tony Pollard got his like ankle snapped in half. Yeah,
when that happened, because Elliott can't run anymore. He's not the same guy. I don't know if his contract is finally up this year and they can just let him go.
It's up. Yeah.
Okay. They can get some. But if people are saying, they were saying, maybe Sean Payton will go there now. Well, do you go there with Dak Prescott, who had a great year last year, but this year was terrible? Do you go there knowing that, okay, I can't cut him because it's an $89 million cap hit. So he's on the team for the next 2 seasons. There's nothing you can do. Again, I like Dak Prescott, but he's been horrible with the interceptions. And again, his passes, like that final play, I did a video on it earlier today. I kept watching it. I think the plan was for Elliott, because he was ineligible, to throw to that receiver. He was supposed to quickly throw it to, I thought Elliott was supposed to come, but they didn't expect him to be driven into the ground. So Prescott started running up there because he had his hands out. They did a wall of blockers in front. I think that was to go quick, boom. But when Elliott got thrown down, but the pass to the receiver was terrible. It was up high and behind him.
Right.
It should have been low where he could just shovel it. But again, he even blew
I,
the
I was
final.
I was like when I saw that I was like, ooh, maybe a cool play, cool design. Like maybe you toss it to the side, and then you're like, oh wait, San Francisco's in prevent defense. Everything's going to be in front of them.
Yeah.
You have a running back blocking 2 defensive linemen. They're just going to run over him.
Yeah, but I thought I would have liked to seen it play out because I think I don't know if it would have worked, but I think they would have got a lot of yards.
I think if you went up against a regular defense, like a 4-3 defense or something, maybe like there might be confusion. Like the linebacker doesn't know where to go, the cornerbacks don't know where to go. But when everybody's back and just like,
yeah, but they put big blockers back. They had their linemen out there to block. You see that because they were waiting. They didn't want to go illegal man downfield, so they waited. But the pass, like I said, we'll never know because the pass was terrible.
right?
It just like, okay, that just screwed up the whole play. I go, I would like to seen that play out because could they? Because I figured out, it's obvious what they were trying to do, but because San Francisco, I think called a timeout before that play, I believe, and they probably said, all right, drive Elliott into the ground, take him out because once you take him out.
I think was it Parsons or something looked over the side like really, you're gonna do this? Like you're gonna do this actually?
Yeah, and he drove him into the ground, and the rest
And
they say.
Twitter went wild. It was like
Twitter went wild.
Nonstop tweets over and over, like, "Oh my god!"
Well, I don't know what else they were going to do because that receiver, they would have been like at midfield. He didn't drag his second foot down. He just kind of went. I go. There was a lot of mistakes in there. Even 49ers made a mistake. Who's the running back? He got the first down, got like 25 yards, but he went out of bounds. I'm like going, what are you doing? Why? How come people don't know that? Unless I was thinking, okay, maybe they're saying one more first down and we win. And he got it in his head. Okay, 1 first down and that's it. But
I think
anyway,
I think they messed up the drive before. They were on like the 45 or 50, and it was like 4th and 5, and they decided to take instead of going try to get 5 yards, they took delay game and punted, and pinned them at the 10-yard line.
Yeah, that's true.
That would have been the time to go for it.
Right. Yeah. Well, they ended up winning the game. Dallas defense has nothing to be ashamed of. They played great. Randy in the chat says Robbie Gould's San Francisco kicker made 13 of the 19 points. So hats off to Robbie. He's pretty much money in the playoffs, so isn't he?
The opposite of Brett Maher.
Yeah. Poor Brett Maher had one blocked, and I'm like, oh my God, this poor guy. But anyway, any more thoughts on last week's games?
That's it.
All right, let's move on to this week's games. Are we going to pick them straight, or are we going to go on point spread, or you want to go half and half? Pick them with the point spread and straight.
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay. Do you know the
I'll
spreads?
just let you know on one of them. It started out with Kansas City as 1-point favorite and is now Cincinnati a 1-point favorite.
Wow. So it's Cincinnati
and that was
+1.
Just today.
Yeah. Well, it came out the high ankle sprain. And Philadelphia's favored
by 2.5.
2.5. So basically they're pick'ems both games. All right. So we got the 49ers versus Philadelphia in the first game. Can Brock Purdy do it? Philadelphia, I really don't know who to pick in this game. I mean, first I'll pick straight. I'm going to go straight. I think Philadelphia is going to win the game. Just because it's in Philadelphia. That's the only reason I'm picking it. But 49ers, they have the talent. It just, do they have the talent? So I'll say this: if Brock Purdy doesn't get to the Super Bowl, say he gets to the Super Bowl, he's probably getting a start. He probably gets to start next year, right?
Wait, but does he even get to start the Super Bowl? Garoppolo's pretty close to coming back.
Do you start Garoppolo?
They said Garoppolo's he's probably doubtful for this week, but then you give him another 2 weeks. Do you want to go with
But
the veteran Garoppolo or
do you
the
go
rookie
with
Purdy?
do you go with Purdy?
He didn't look that great against Dallas, but Dallas has a great defense.
Yeah. I don't know what my point I was getting to is, okay, next season, Tom Brady's already been telling people he's not coming back to Tampa Bay. He's grew up a 49er fan. If they don't get to the Super Bowl, is that the landing spot for Tom Brady next season? What else do they need? And you had Brock Purdy he's still young enough. He could sit behind Brady for another year, for 1 year, right?
Right.
Who better to learn behind than Tom Brady? But could that be the landing spot for if they go on to win the Super Bowl? I don't think you sign Tom Brady, right?
Then you got to go with Purdy as a starter.
Yeah, if he can, unless Garoppolo comes back and he takes over for Purdy. It's crazy, but we shall see. But I'll pick it straight. What's your pick?
We got San Francisco is on a 12-game winning streak. And I think just for the fun storyline of Brock Purdy, the last pick at NFL draft, leading a team to the Super Bowl, having a debate of whether you go back to your old quarterback or go with the guy who brought you there.
Yeah.
I'm going to go San Francisco straight up and covering the points. Or, yeah.
Well, so you're going that
Philly up is
and getting
favorite, but yeah.
Wow. So, Mike, I was going to go 49ers getting 2.5 points. So I'm doing the point one, but you could always start Garoppolo, and then if he struggles, you just bring in Purdy. But that could be a mess too. But it should be a fun game. I mean, I saw that
both these games are should be great. These are the four best teams. Yeah.
Oh, easily, yeah. Did you see where Joey Bosa surprised his brother in the runway? And Nick, they got a hug and stuff. I was shocked that Joey Bosa didn't rip off Nick Bosa's helmet and throw it. I was pissed. I told Joey Bosa. I was tweeting back when his contract was coming up. I go, don't resign with the Chargers. Go play with your brother in San Francisco. But he stayed with Chargers because they could offer him the most money. It was something in the way the collective bargaining agreement is that he could make more money with the Chargers than with any other team. And I said, you want to win or do you want a lot of money? And he chose a lot of money. So he's got no one to blame but himself. Can you imagine the Bosa brothers on that same line?
That'd be ridiculous.
Yeah. And could have been. Also,
be careful when you tweet at people. We don't want you getting banned again.
That's true. I'm very nice. I don't. I shouldn't have been banned the first time. It just was crock as shit. Next up, we have Cincinnati versus Kansas City. I'm going to let you go first.
We have Cincinnati on 10-game win streak. We have Kansas City on an 8-game win streak. We have Cincinnati's beaten Kansas City the last 3 times. Can they make it 4?
It's all about matchups. In any sport, it's matchups.
I'm going to go with the healthy quarterback. I think Cincinnati pulls off the upset. I'm going to go both upsets this week in the Cincinnati-San Francisco Super Bowl.
Are you taking the +1?
Yeah. Oh, I guess Cincinnati's the favorite now, so I guess.
Oh, okay. So you're giving a point.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, I did this wrong. Okay. -1. So
it just seems like Cincinnati has Kansas City's defense figured out, how to attack them.
Well, I think defensively they're both about equal. Both teams are, they don't have great defenses, but they have good defenses. I mean, they're solid. But with not knowing the status of Mahomes, and even if he plays, he's not going to be able to get out. He's not going to be able. His best thing is not so much running the football; it's avoiding the sacks. He's not going to be able to do that, I don't think. Now, will Andy Reid and Eric Bieniemy come up with some kind of? They're very good at coming up with plays to play well, but not having Mahomes 100%. In Cincinnati, I think Joe Burrow said, he said, better get those refunds out for this. I love Joe Burrow.
He is very confident.
Yeah, he's very confident. Right now, if I had to pick a quarterback a healthy quarterback, I'm going to go with Mahomes every time. But Joe Burrow is a close second in my list. Because beginning there, Charger fans was like, Herbert and Burrow are the same. I'm like, Herbert's a good quarterback, but Burrow just has that. Again, he's very confident, and he doesn't get fazed by anything. He's just, they call him Joe Cool, and he deserves it. So, yes, I will go with Cincinnati, both two. So we only have one disagreement. I picked Philadelphia straight. So you're going Niners, Cincinnati Super Bowl. That would be happened back. I won $1,000 last time they played in a Super Bowl. My numbers hit. And the whole time I'm sweating it out that Cincinnati was driving back. I go, don't score, don't score, don't score.
Are you talking to boxes?
Boxes, yeah. I hit it was a $10. It was a lot of money buy-in. This was back in obviously the 80s. And I go, wait a minute. Those are my numbers. It was $1,000. I'm like, so that was good too. So as of going into this final before the Super Bowl, I'm 7-3. You're 6-4. So it could go. The best you can do, I guess, is tie me now because I only have one difference.
Great.
Going into the Super Bowl.
After my dominant regular season.
Yes, you were dominant in the regular season, but I'm a playoff guy. I save it for the playoffs. Practice. Talk about practice.
Winning the playoffs, Jack.
It's all about playoffs to me. That's all we got. Anything else you'd like to add?
No, that's it.
So we'll be back, like a week before the Super Bowl?
Yeah, I know if you want. We can do it.
Or should we do it? Let's do it next week, and then we won't have to do it until after the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah, that'd probably better do a recap right after the games, and then just take a week off, like the NFL is.
Yes. So we'll do Monday.
9:30?
9:30. That would help the Chiefs if they can somehow win. That would give Mahomes 2 more weeks to get that ankle back in shape. Again, there's only so much. It's just ice and heat, ice and heat, ice and heat. They probably have other things now, but back when I was spraining my ankle once a week, it was ice and heat, ice and heat, ice and heat.
Yeah, again.
But that's
give Mahomes 2 weeks. Give Garoppolo extra 2 weeks.
Yeah,
could be interesting.
Well, you give Hurts an extra 2 weeks to get 100% too. I don't know. Can any of Joe Burrow's? What about the O line? I know one can't. Any of those O linemen, can they come back?
Not sure.
Are they? Yeah, but they did fine against Buffalo.
Buffalo, yeah. But yeah, there's a lot of teams
fans
winning in a row. You got San Francisco 12 in a row, Cincinnati 10 in a row, Kansas City 8 in a row. A lot of
Philadelphia. If Hurts hadn't gotten hurt, they probably would have had a lot in a row too. They probably would have had.
Yeah, they probably would have been like 15-2 or 16-1.
Yeah, because they were just rolling. But that's all I got.
See you next Monday.
Anything else? Okay. No. Bye, everybody. Thanks, Randy, and the other ones who joined us. Listen to us live.